The Kelvin Timeline is an alternative quantum universe created when the Romulan Nero traveled to the year 2233 and destroyed the Federation starship USS Kelvin. The subsequent history and development of this timeline is significantly different from those of the Prime Universe. In 2233, the mining vessel Narada appeared and destroyed the Federation starship USS Kelvin, killing many of her crew, including George Kirk. As a consequence, James T. Kirk grew up without his father's influence to join Starfleet. However, he was eventually persuaded by Christopher Pike. Let's now examine each of the starships that appeared in all three Kelvin Timeline films. The first one we'll be looking at is the USS Franklin NX-326. Franklin is a starship seen in the 2016 film Star Trek Beyond. It was the first Earth ship capable of reaching warp factor 4. It is around 137 meters long. Its armaments, typical of the era, included pulsed phase cannons and spatial torpedoes. The Franklin disappeared in 2164 during a mission in the Gagarin radiation belt. Popular speculation ranged from the ship being captured by Romulans to being captured by a giant green hand. In truth, the Franklin was displaced by a wormhole and crash-landed on the planet Ultimate. Number 2, we have USS Solcom. This ship is visible in a time-lapse montage when the Enterprise A is shown being built. At an estimated overall length of 400 meters, the ship was named after the lead CGI artist on the montage, Solcom. This fact and the ship's name and registry are from information tweeted by TrekCore in October 2016. Next, USS Kelvin. In 2233, the Kelvin encountered a black hole, created in 2387 by the detonation of a red matter device, which subsequently spawned the alternate reality. As the Kelvin was observing the black hole, an unidentified vessel emerged from the future. It would later turn out to be the Narada, a 24th century Romulan mining vessel commanded by Captain Nero. According to Star Trek original series and novelization, USS Kelvin is around 457 meters in length and carried a crew of at least 800. Number 4, USS Mayflower. This starship was sent to Vulcan in 2258 to respond to a distress call from the planet. When it arrived, it was destroyed by the Romulan ship Narada in the Battle of Vulcan. When the USS Enterprise appeared at Vulcan, it skimmed over the wreckage of the Mayflower. The wreckage of the Mayflower posed a significant navigational hazard to the Enterprise, as the latter ship maneuvered itself through the battlefield. The Mayflower was not mentioned in dialogue, and its name was only seen briefly on a piece of wreckage. Next, USS Armstrong. In 2258, the Armstrong was docked at Starbase 1 at the time Vulcan issued a distress call. Ignorant of the true nature of the distress call, the Armstrong joined with a fleet of other Starfleet ships on a mission of mercy for the Federation planet. The Armstrong was not mentioned in dialogue. Its registry, confirmed by the Blu-ray Special Starships, was seen on a starship in front of the Enterprise before the fleet warps to Vulcan. USS Excelsior. In 2258 of an alternate reality brought about by Nero's interference, the Excelsior was destroyed by the Narada during a mission to investigate a lightning storm in space in the proximity of Vulcan. The USS Excelsior is reddish in color, as seen in Star Trek 2009. The ship is estimated to be 503 meters long and has a circular primary hull with a bridge in the center of the dorsal side, a sensor dome at the bottom of the ventral, and impulse engines at the aft end. Number 7, USS Kobayashi Maru. The USS Kobayashi Maru is a Federation Class 3 neutronic fuel carrier that serves as a component of the Kobayashi Maru scenario, a no-win scenario at the Starfleet Academy. In the 2250s decade, Commander Spock programmed the Kobayashi Maru scenario for training purposes at Starfleet Academy and included the Kobayashi Maru. In the scenario, the Kobayashi Maru came under attack from Klingon warbirds inside the Federation Klingon neutral zone. Number 8. USS Newton. The Newton was briefly seen, however not specifically identified, when the shuttlecraft Gilliam flew over the space dock to the USS Enterprise, and later in front of the Enterprise, moments before warping to Vulcan. At an estimated length of 624 meters long, Newton was identified from early computer renderings found on the Blu-ray version of Star Trek, and from sketches in the Blu-ray special Starships. Number 9 on the list, USS Enterprise. The iconic USS Enterprise NCC-1701 is 725 meters long in Kelvin Timeline, a 23rd century Constitution-class command cruiser flagship that entered Starfleet service in the 2250s decade. In the year 2260, the Enterprise became the first Federation starship to embark on a 5-year mission under the command of Captain James T. Kirk. The Enterprise was originally scheduled to be launched in 2245. However, due to the interference from Nero in the year 2233, the ship was redesigned and its launch pushed back to 2258. 10. USS Enterprise A. Construction of the ship began around the year 2263 at Yorktown Station and was completed following the destruction of the previous USS Enterprise. The ship was said to carry more advanced technology than its predecessor. While the Enterprise A followed the same basic configuration as its predecessor, there were several notable differences between the two ships. The warp nacelles were spaced further apart and lacked the buzzard collector hoods. The saucer rim angle was steeper, the neck was situated further forward on the engineering hull, and the impulse deck closely resembled the impulse deck of its predecessor when it launched back in 2258. And lastly, we have USS Vengeance. The Vengeance was specifically designed to be a combat vessel and was much larger, faster, and more heavily armed, with more advanced weaponry than other Federation ships of the same time period. Unlike other ships owned by the Federation and operated by Starfleet, it was created specifically for combat and was completely unmarked, with no registry number or nomenclature visible on the hull. The USS Vengeance was designed by Khan Noonien Singh and Section 31 for the purpose of preparing the Federation for what was deemed an inevitable war against the Klingon Empire and its other rivals. As of 2263, it was by far the largest ship operated by Starfleet. And that is all for today. Thanks for watching, and we will see you positively in the next one. Take care.